Okay, so for part 2 of lecture 4, ratio rates and proportion, we will handle this proportion naman. Okay. So P for proportion, this takes on the values between 0 and 1. So P is a fraction. So P has no units, and P may be multiplied by a constant K. So again, may K ulit tayo, where K is a number such as 100, 1,000, or 10,000. Okay, so other symbols is N. N is the number of individuals in the population. X is the number of individuals in the same population that possesses the characteristic C. So yung C or yung X is ito yung may hanap natin. So halimbawa patients with diabetes or patients with dengue. Ito yung hanap natin. Okay, so P or the proportion is proportion in the population with the characteristic C is equal to X over N. So X yung ating hanap or yung ating target, then N is yung population ng target na yan. So for example, ilan yung may dengue sa medical students? So parang ganon. Okay, so examples of proportion is proportionate mortality. So in 2000, 53% of all deaths in country M under 5 years old or under age of 5. So ang results is 53% daw. So ang proportion nun is P equals 0.53. So kapag times 10 yun, per 100, 53 yung ating proportion. So 53 daw per 100 yung age of deaths under age of 5. So 530 per 1,000, so on and so forth. So yung K yung pang-adjust natin kung ilan talaga yung individuals na yun. So para siyang pang-estimate din sa population. Sensitivity. So ito na yung ating uses of proportion in the laboratory. So sensitivity will detect the disease of interest if the patient has the disease. So kumbaga kahit mababa yung titer niya or konting-konti lang yung present na amount ng disease, madedetect ng sensitivity. So target of sensitivity is that all people with the disease will test positive. So there will be no false negatives. So kumbaga, madedetect niya lahat ng positive at yung positive na yon magte-test, madedetect niya lahat na may disease. So lahat ng may sakit. Pero ang gusto niya, madetect niya lahat ng may sakit at magte-test ng positive. Pag kasi may sakit at nag-test na negative, ang tawag natin doon is false negative. Okay, so paano ang formula nitong ating sensitivity na to? So the number of people who have the disease and tested positive over the number of people who have the disease. Okay. So, lahat ng may sakit over sa total. Lahat ng may sakit na nag-test ng positive over sa total ng may sakit. Okay. Ulitin natin. TP or true positive. Ito yung may sakit na nag-test na positive. Next, TP ulit kasi kailangan isama natin yan kasi total ng may sakit. False negative or FN. Ito yung may sakit na nag-test na negative. Okay, in short, ito yung nag-test na positive na may sakit, ito yung lahat ng may disease. So, times 100 kasi proportion ito or ang ating ginagawa dito is percentage. Specificity naman. So, people who does not have the disease will all test negative. So, specific siya or tatama siya doon sa target lang niya. Kumbaga, yung mismong specific strain or disease na yun yung hanap para sa ating specificity. So, there will be no false positives. Kumbaga, lahat ng negative, negative talaga. So, kapag yung negative or yung walang sakit, nag-test na positive, false positive, yung tawag natin doon. Formula, the number of people who does not have the disease and tested negative, yung walang sakit at negative, over the number of people who does not have the disease. So, lahat ng walang sakit. So, again, TN or true negative over true negative plus false positive times 100 to be percentage. Okay, so example. And this is target natin is syphilis. We have a population of 100 individuals or samples. So, 100 people have the disease. Okay, so 100 yung may sakit. So, sa 95 na yon nag-test na positive. Ibig sabihin, 95 ang ating true positive individuals. So, may sakit, nag-test na positive, true positive. So, ilan yung natitira sa may sakit? 5. So, yung ating 5 ay nag-test na negative, pero may sakit sila. Hence, false negative. Okay. So, sa 1,000, 100 yung may sakit. Ilan dito yung walang sakit? Ilan doon sa 1,000? Okay. So, 900. 900 people does not have the disease or syphilis. Sa 900 na yon, may 90 daw na nag-test na positive. So, yun yung tinatawag na false positive. Wala silang sakit pero nag-test na positive. Next, 810 tested negative. So, walang sakit, nag-test na negative, true negative. Okay. So, ito na yung ating data. Yan. So, kukumputin nyo yung sensitivity at specificity gamit itong data na to. So, gamitin nyo yung ating formula kanina. Okay. So, another part of our proportion is the positive predictive value. This means that the most prevalent disease in the community, the more prevalent the disease in the community, the more or the higher positive predictive value is. So, kumbaga, ilan yung magpa-positive or yung positive predictive natin, yung titingin natin na magpa-positive din dun sa community na yon. So, formula, balik lang tayo dun sa kaninang TP-TP, yun din yung ating data, or yung ganun din. So, number of individuals who tested positive and have the disease, so true positive. Number of individuals who tested positive, so lahat ng nag-test naman na positive. So, positive predictive value, lahat ng positive yung ginagamit natin. True positive over true positive plus false positive times 100 is the positive predictive value. Kung may positive predictive value, syempre meron din tayong negative predictive value. So, the more prevalent the disease in the community, the lower the negative predictive value. So, ito kanina, higher yung predictive value. So, pagtaas ng predictive value, ibig sabihin, pagdami nung may sakit doon sa isang community, sa specific sakit na ating pinag-aaralan. So, dito naman, members who tested negative, who does not have the disease. So, that is true negative. Divided by number who tested negative. Okay, so ganito yan. True negative over true negative plus false negative times 100. Okay, so para mas madali, meron tayo nito. Sensitivity A, which is true positive, divided by A plus C. Ito kasi yung ating thick. Specificity D, so true negative divided by D tsaka B. Yan. So, parang guide lang yan. Mas maganda kapag magagawa kayo na or magsosolve ng sensitivity, specificity. Gawa muna kayo ng table na ganito. Ganitong layout na wag na mag-iba ng layout. Gayahin na to. Sick, healthy, total. Positive, negative. So, dito, ang true positive. Dito lahat lalagay yung true positive. True. Ito yung false positive. Kasi healthy pero nag-test na positive. Yan. So, gayahin or ganito ang gagawing table kapag nagkaroon ng question about sensitivity, specificity, positive predictive value, and negative predictive value. Okay, next, let's proceed to rates. Okay, so A over A plus B times T times constant. Okay, so A is the number of persons in experiencing a particular event during a given period. So, for example, sila yung tuloy muna natin. A plus B, number of individuals who are at risk of experiencing the same or the particular period during experiencing the same event during the same period. Time or T is the total time at risk, K is the multiplier. Okay. So for example is kagaya halos siya nung ating mga ratio pero may time. Yan siya lang na iba, may time. Okay, so calendar time period is the same in both numerator and denominator of a rate. So yung time isa lang yan. Relative frequency of an event per unit time is called risk. So yun yung ating risk na ginagamit. Okay, adjusted standardized rate used to make valid summary comparison between two or more groups possessing different age or other distribution. So hindi na natin ito focus. Ito yung pag magkakaiba yung lugar o magkakaiba yung pangyayari pero same yung experiences. So parang ni-standardized lang. Okay. Example. Infant mortality rate. So number of infant deaths per 1,000 live deaths during a given calendar. So A is number of deaths. Doon sa ating example kanina. Ating formula. Nasaan yung formula? So number of deaths plus total infants. So per calendar year, so 1 year yun usually. So K is based on the population. So per 1,000 live births yung ginamit in a calendar year. So IMR, infant mortality rate, is not a proportion because the numerator is not necessarily part of the denominator. Some infants may have been born during the previous calendar year. So iba yung ating totality. Kaya hindi siya kasama sa proportion. Yung proportion kasi, doon mo din binawas mismo yung kasama. So kaya A plus B yung ating denominator. So, fertility rate. So number of live births per year per 1,000 women age 15 to 49 during a calendar year. It is both a ratio and a proportion. Okay, so example ng rate. Yan. So total number of deaths in a calendar year over total mid-year population times K. Incidence rate. Number of new cases of specific disease in a calendar year over total mid-year population. So dito tandaan lang muna ang mga formulas. So pagdating nyo pa sa higher statistics, maaalala nyo magagamit ninyo yan. So pagdating mga doctor na kayo, kailangan nyo mag-compute ng data, ito yung magagamit sa pag-present kayo sa inyong mga boss. Okay? So hanggang doon muna. Wait for part 3. Thank you.